Hello, PortmeiriCon. How are you? Special thank you to Six of One for having us here today. We have a fantastic panel for you. I'm your friendly neighborhood Toy Shiz, bringing you all the exclusive news on some upcoming The Prisoner action figures from Wandering Planet Toys. And I am joined today by writer, producer, filmmaker, toy collector. You know him best from Disney's Star Wars Resistance, Netflix, and Hasbro's Transformers War for Cybertron, Nickelodeon's 2021 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mr. Gavin Hignite. How are you?
Hey, hello, village, virtual village, and everyone at PortmeiriCon. And yeah, thanks for having us. Lifelong toy fan, and what better to jump into trying to make toys than an iconic show like The Prisoner? So here we are.
I agree. And not only do we have you, we have the amazing film producer, writer, director, toy aficionado, whose credits include personal favorite of mine, Napoleon Dynamite, Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and Transformers Rescue Bot Academy, the one and only Mr. Doc Wyatt.
Hey, hello. Sir? Hi, Six of One. Thank you for having us.
This is great. Yeah, this is fantastic that they, put this all together and are able to do this, and we can do this for you. So this works out. Before we talk toys, I'm to understand that you guys are big The Prisoner fans. I think that's Absolutely. Why we're here, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
People at home, they're probably nodding, hopefully.
Yes.
Something to do with 1967 Patrick McGoohan's TV series, I'm sure. Doc, let's start off with you. If you woke up in the village, what would you do on your very first day there?
Well, that is a great question. And actually, I it's not hypothetical. I know the answer because I was working on an animated series that the animation studio was in Dublin. I had to go to Dublin for meetings on the show. And while I was there, I rented a car. I took the ferry from Dublin over to the west coast of Wales, and I stayed in the village. You can stay like up in the actual village itself. And when I woke up in the morning, what I did was I went around the village trying to replicate photos of number 6, but with me in them. So that's what I like. There's me in the stone boat looking very serious. And
wow.
Me at the yellow arch. But that's what I did when I woke up in the village.
That's a given. You got to go and do all that, right?
Absolutely.
If you're Doc Wyatt, yes.
Yeah. Gavin, let me ask you, what would you say your favorite episode of the series is, if you have one?
I mean, that's a tough one. I think I have different favorites for different reasons, but one of my favorites absolutely is Schizoid Man, which we are going to make a toy of because of our love of it. But the thing I like about it is it puts such a spin on the evil twin trope. I'm a big classic TV fan. I love all kinds of television. And, you get that episode where, oh, here comes the evil twin. But the spin, the point of view that the prisoner takes it through, and you're, as an audience member, not knowing who the heck is who, makes it one of my favorites. Other than that, I would say that Hammer into Anvil is probably my favorite. Just because number 6, it's all about, it's not about escaping. It's about, working the system against itself. And I really responded to it.
Very cool. Well, I'm sure, we'd love to talk about all this stuff all day, all the prisoners. But you guys are here to talk about your new toy line, which is very exciting. And I have to ask you, why The Prisoner? What led to producing the first official action figures for a series that's over 50 years old? Doc?
Well, it was Gavin's idea initially, and it blew my mind. We're big toy collectors, and we work in a lot of the same writers' rooms on animated series. We've worked on Transformers together and Star Wars together, and we always just geek out about toys. And we thought, how awesome would it be to make our own toys, but what would they be of? And then Gavin was the one that pointed out that Prisoner had never had an official toy line. And it was like, this has to happen. This has to be what we do. Like, I first found The Prisoner in the 80s I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, and Georgia Public Television started airing it after Doctor Who in the 80s. And it blew my 10-year-old mind. Like, I could not believe like the sheer, it was avant-garde, it was paranoid, it was wonderful. And it was like, as soon as Gavin said Prisoner hasn't had toys, it's like, well, we're making Prisoner toys, we're fixing that.
Well, I would say that I think it's always cool after so many years of not having toys for a specific property to finally have one for the Prisoner. I think you guys are going to hit it out of the park. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and there have been a few toys, I should say, like the Mini Moke. Like there've been a few toys, but there's never been an action figure line,
Yeah.
and that's what we're excited about.
Yeah.
Gavin, what do you think is the most important aspect for you when approaching the Prisoner as a toy line?
You know, there was a lot of pressure actually going into it because, and so I came into the Prisoner about I'm a big classic TV fan, but I had just never been exposed to it. And I was exposed to about 2 years ago. A writer that both Doc and I know was like, you have to watch the show, and then boom, I loved it. And what became apparent to me very quickly is that and everyone watching this will know, and everyone who attends PortmeiriCon will know, this is a serious fan base. Details matter. So approaching the toy line, I think the most important thing to me was, we're the newest kid on this block. This is like out of the gate, the very first line we're ever going to do, and we have to do it right. So, thank goodness I have Doc on board, because he is like a walking Prisoner encyclopedia. So if there were details I wasn't sure about or angles to go, I could just, hey Doc, so this. But yeah, the details of the show, and that, Louis Tucci, who's our sculptor, and I'm going to bring in our awesome little prototype here, number 6. Even the folds on the pants, just the detail of sculpt. We want our packaging to reflect the series. The entire line needed to be a love letter to the series, not only for the fans who would be into this, but especially Prisoner fans, because they notice. That's what the show's about, right? Like, you discuss it, you discuss every little nuance. So there was a lot of pressure to get it right, but that made it fun, something to really dig into.
Especially with that, yeah, they'll definitely be discussing what you guys get wrong and right at the same time, right?
Hopefully kindly, yes.
Yeah. What's been your favorite thing about launching this particular toy line? To Doc, either of you.
Just talking about the possibilities of what it could be, going over the first time we got our sculpt of number 6 back, and seeing the likeness of Patrick McGowan take shape there in digital form from the first digital sculpt. It was exciting, and just opening up this world in a whole new way was wonderful, because it's a way to think about the Prisoner that I haven't thought about before. Like, watching in this episode and thinking, what can we make a toy of? Like, what accessories can we pull out of this? Like, when we hit on the idea of in Free for All, we're going to have these tiny copies of the psychic test cards that number 24 uses. And just the idea of like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have tiny little ones of those in my hand. Like, it brought, it brings the series to life in this tangible way. That is just an awesome feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll
Gavin,
just echo that.
Yeah, same
I'll
to you.
Just echo that. It was just great seeing it come to life in this new form. You get a lot of ideas, and you hope for the best, or you work for the best. And you never know sometimes how things will come out. But with the team that we've been surrounded by on this, and like I said, just drilling down on what makes it special, and it's like just paying tribute, right? We get to express our love for the series in like action figure form. So that, to me, I think, is seeing that take shape has been, like Doc said, every time we get a new prototype or a design in from Jenny, who's doing the packaging, we're like, I would buy that. Like we get to be fans for something that we, it was like, it wasn't there, so we're making it for us and for everyone else.
Yeah, that's got to be a good feeling to know that all the hard work, your fandom, everything comes together, produce something that now everyone else can enjoy in other different ways, like toys on their shelves. There's nothing better than that. What, let's say, you have wave one that you guys are going to be doing. What are some of the figures you'd like to visit in future waves, or ones that are just you have to have them eventually?
Go ahead, Gavin.
Oh, you go ahead, Doc, because I know you are ready to go on this one.
It's got to be Leo McKern #2. Leo McKern #2 is like simply no question. He's my favorite #2. He was the last #2. He was the most frequent #2. He's the iconic #2. We got to have Leo McKern. And I just want to have a Leo McKern figure so badly. And he's the perfect foil for 6. And then the butler, Angela Muscat's character is the butler carrying the umbrella. He had a little umbrella in his hand. Sonia from The Girl Who Was Death from The Girl Who Was Death, certainly high on the list. My dream figure would be a Fallout figure that is #1, and it would have 2 masks. And then when you take off the #1 mask, there would be a gorilla mask. And then when you take out the gorilla mask, would be a #6. It would be a Patrick McGowan likeness underneath. I don't know if we can technically achieve a 3-faced action figure in the 4-inch retro style, but if we can do it, we will do it, because that would be amazing. Spoiler for Fallout.
Oh yeah, spoiler. Hopefully attendees already know that.
Yeah, people there going like, dang it, I haven't seen the show yet. Come on.
I was waiting.
Gavin, anything you want to add to that? Hopeful in the future?
Yeah, so well, and like Doc, I just, I really wish we could have gotten Leo McKern out in the first wave, but just being new and having to look at tooling and cost and stuff, we're being as strategic as possible so we can make this a reality, which meant we had to save him for wave 2. But I am a huge fan of Living in Harmony. That episode blew I'm a big Western fan, and I loved it. I loved the approach of it. And so for me, I would love to explore doing Harmony #6 and then #8, AKA the kid. And then of course we could, revisit the kid #8 for a Fallout as well, once we had made it. But I loved what a great episode of television. So that's one that's high on my to-do list.
Excellent. Well, this is fantastic. I think that fans of the show, you guys being here today, toy collectors especially, will be stoked on what you guys have planned. Before we head out, is there anything else you'd like to tell the folks visiting the virtual village for PortmeiriCon?
Well, to make these figures happen, this wave or any future waves, we just need support. We need crowdfunding support on our Kickstarter campaign. So you just check it out at kickstarter.com. Look for the prisoner figures, pledge your support, pre-order the figures, and let's get them out.
We know it's a community, so and we're pretty confident the community is going to come behind us. I have a #2. I'm going to show off here. They've been arguing a lot on my toy shelf, guys. I'm not kidding about that. And then to show, it's a process, right? Like, this was the first #6 we got in, and we had to tweak some things. And then now, we have the proper 3 3/4 like retro style. So we promise everyone who is into action figures and the prisoner, these will be the toys that you've been waiting for 40, 50 years. And yeah, the stronger we can launch, the more possibilities there are for, Doc, what's the sport again? The amazing sport?
Oh, Kosho. Yeah.
We need a Kosho playset, guys. Come on, rally.
We need
build a playset. Build a Kosho playset. They do that.
We want that. We want that hardcore with working trampolines.
Gavin, just to kind of wrap things up, tell the folks at home, where can they find you for all the updates on the projects you're working on and also the Kickstarter and such?
Absolutely. So the best place for the prisoner figures is going to be facebook.com/wanderingplanettoys or kickstarter.com/wanderingplanettoys. And we also have an Instagram, Wandering Planet Official, where we post lots of toy photos, lots of stuff we love. And as this campaign and as this figure line takes over, you're going to see more and more product and more what Wandering Planet's going to do. And if you're not bored of me by then, you could always go over to instagram.com/GavinHignite to see all the crazy stuff that I'm up to. And I just thank everyone for watching this and for your interest in the toys, and also just to 6 of 1 for keeping this thing alive and doing the convention. I can't wait to go and have these toys on the ground with everyone when we can get over COVID and do it safely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Doc, how about you? Where can the people find you? Stay up to date on all the prisoner action figure goodness.
I'm on Twitter at Otherland71.
Excellent. And be sure to follow me, Toy Shiz, for all the latest pop culture news, toy news, especially on these fine gents' upcoming prisoner action figures at Toy Shiz. Thank you to everyone at PortmeiriCon, and thank you to 6 of 1 for having us. Have a great rest of the convention, and we will see you all soon in the village.
Be seeing you.
Be seeing you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Toy Shiz.
We
Thank
didn't even
you.
plan that. Jinx. You owe me a Coke.